Today's lesson is called Fires Ravage Amazon Rainforest. Hello everyone, my name is Jeff.
And my name is Helen.
Everyone, we are in big trouble right now. Seriously, and I mean everyone. Why? Because the lungs of planet Earth are found there in the Amazon rainforest. The Amazon rainforest is a gigantic rainforest. Okay, all of those trees in that rainforest do a lot of breathing for us. They take the carbon dioxide that we exhale and turn it back into oxygen that we can breathe once again. Yes, thank goodness for forests, thank goodness for trees, and thank goodness for the Amazon rainforest. But yes, we are in trouble because right now, fires are ravaging the Amazon rainforest.
That's right. And the reason why this situation is so serious is that the Amazon rainforest is the world's largest rainforest. And it's located in South America, of course. And although the majority of the rainforest is located in Brazil, around 60% to be more precise, the rest of it spreads across other countries, including Peru and Colombia. So even though the Amazon rainforest is located in South America, it's so big that what happens to it actually affects the entire world.
There you go. And the fact that it's spread out over so many different countries there also makes it difficult to figure out who's in charge, okay? Who is going to take the lead when it comes to fighting these fires? Is everybody on the same page? Anyways, let's go ahead and try to answer some of these questions today, and let's talk about these fires that are ravaging the poor Amazon rainforest. Let's go ahead and take a short break, but when we come back, we will start reading our article on the Amazon rainforest.
Fires ravage Amazon rainforest. Tens of thousands of fires were burning across the Amazon rainforest in the summer of 2019, clearing more than 19,000 square kilometers of land and raising concerns around the world. As of August, Brazil alone had reported 87,000 forest fires, compared with 49,000 the previous year.
大家好，标题中我们看到单字 ravage 这个字是动词，指严重毁坏、摧毁。例如 The storm ravaged the coast and many homes were damaged. 暴风雨摧残那个海湾，许多住家损毁。另外，这个字也可以是名词，指灾难、灾害。当这个意思的时候，这个字通常为复数形。我们可以说After the ravages of war, the whole city needs to go through post-disaster reconstruction. 经过战争摧残后，整个城市必须接受灾后重建。接着，我们看到片语 compared with or to something， 表示与相比，相较于，像是 Penelope did well on the test compared with her classmate who failed.与考不及格的同学相比 Penelope 考得算不错。或是 Bob is quite young compared to the others in the group. 相较于团体里的其他人 Bob 相当年轻。
And welcome back. So today we're talking about the Amazon rainforest, and the title of this article is Fires Ravage Amazon Rainforest. So ravage here, of course, means to destroy or to damage severely. And as the article will tell us, tens of thousands of fires were burning across the Amazon rainforest in the summer of 2019, clearing more than 19,000 square kilometers of land and raising concerns around the world. So this was just happening in the summer of 2019. Many fires, tens of thousands of fires were burning across the Amazon rainforest, destroying a lot of land, just basically burning its way through trees and shrubs and any kinds of animals living on those lands. And because of this situation, people around the world, countries around the world became very concerned. So they were concerned because this was happening not only in South America, but it was affecting the rest of the world.
Exactly. Now, fires are a natural occurrence in forests all over the world, and the Amazon rainforest is no different. So why are we worried? Okay, a couple forest fires, big deal, right? Wrong. Okay, the number of fires in the Amazon rainforest has started to go up. Let's start learning about that now. As of August, Brazil alone had reported 87,000 forest fires compared with 49,000 the previous year. So there you go, the Amazon rainforest. It's burning down, and this is not a good thing. Yeah, that is something to be worried about. Anyways, let's go ahead and talk about a phrase to be found in this sentence, compared with.
So compared with is used when you want to consider the similarities and differences between two things. So we're comparing or we're looking at two situations, two time frames. The first time frame is 2018. The second time frame is the time between January and August 2019. Even though the phrase can be used to point out similarities, usually it's used to point out differences between two things. So as an example sentence, I could say, how does this coffee compare to the one you had yesterday? Is today's coffee better tasting? Is it stronger? Is it milder, etc.?
Okay, folks, with that, it's time for us to take a short break, but don't go away. We'll be right back after this.
Fires occur naturally in the Amazon basin each summer by causes such as lightning, but intentional deforestation is a much larger contributing factor. Farmers, in particular, often burn large areas to open up space for agriculture. The resulting ash also fertilizes the cleared land. A ban on burning by the Brazilian government did little to help. About 2,000 new fires were reported in the 48 hours following the restriction.
第二部分我们看到单字 intentional， 这个字是形容词，有蓄意的、故意的意思。举例来说 Mark apologized for his mistakes and assured that he was not intentional. Mark 为他的错误道歉，并保证他不是故意的。另外 intentional 去掉字尾 al 就成了名词 intention， 指意图、打算。例如It wasn't my intention to cause problems between the two friends. 引起这两个朋友之间的纷争不是我的意图。或是 Brad told me of his intention to move to Europe before the end of the summer. Brad 跟我说他想在夏天结束前搬到欧洲。再来我们看到名词 deforestation， 指森林砍伐、滥伐森林。例如 Deforestation causes many animals of this area to lose their homes.森林砍伐导致这个地区的许多动物失去家园。接着我们看到一个单字 fertilize， 这个字是动词，指施肥、使授粉。举例来说 I fertilize my plants with water from my fish tank. 我用我鱼缸里的水为我的植物施肥。另外在 fertilize 字尾加 r 就成了名词 fertilizer， 意思是肥料。我们可以说Beatrice bought some fertilizer for her garden. Beatrice 为她的花园买了一些肥料。
And welcome back. So we're talking about the Amazon rainforest and the fires that have blazed across the forest in August of 2019, which have raised concern because of the number of fires that have occurred. So we talked about the fact that countries around the world are concerned, are alarmed by these fires.
There you go. Anyways, let's go ahead and start reading again. The next sentence says, fires occur naturally in the Amazon basin each summer by causes such as lightning, but intentional deforestation is a much larger contributing factor. By the way, I believe global warming does play a role in this. It is a contributing factor here, but what we're going to be focusing on is intentional deforestation. Okay, it says here that intentional deforestation is a much larger contributing factor. factor. So for right now, let's put global warming on the back burner and talk about intentional deforestation. If you deforest an area, okay, you take an area that was once forested, filled with trees, it was once a forest, and you remove all of those trees. Let's say you want to make some land where you can plant crops, you might deforest an area. There you go. Now, intentional deforestation, that means you're trying to do this on purpose, okay? You're not doing it by mistake. You're saying, okay, I want to remove trees from this land, so I am going to do that, okay? This is intentional deforestation. So apparently people want to plant crops in the Amazon rainforest, so they're burning parts of that area down. That's what intentional deforestation is all about. So yes, fires do occur naturally in the Amazon basin, and people are worried that these fires, these naturally occurring fires that are good for the Amazon rainforest, they're worried that there are more of these, or that these fires might last longer, or they might be worse than they were before due to global warming. But we're going to focus on here is intentional deforestation for the most part, okay? Now, before we talk more about this, let's go ahead and talk about the word basin, the Amazon basin.
Okay, so the Amazon basin, when we talk about that, we're talking about an area of land from which water runs into a river or which runs into a lake or a sea. So the fact that this is happening in the Amazon basin is actually quite logical because in the summer, the high temperature dries out the land. Water flows away from the land into the river, into the lake, into the sea. The land becomes very dry. So if there is a lightning strike and it strikes the land, that can cause a fire. So that would be a naturally occurring fire, which happens most often in summer because the land is dry. However, as Jeff mentioned, when you have intentional deforestation, that's a different situation because that's when people intentionally, they mean to set the fire to the land. Now, basin, it might sound funny because you can also have a basin in your bathroom or in your kitchen. That's where you wash things. It's where the faucet is and you have running water over the basin. But here we're talking about an area of land from which water runs into a river or which contains water.
Anyways, more on intentional deforestation. Farmers in particular often burn large areas to open up space for agriculture. Yes, they want to grow plants and crops and stuff like that. And the resulting ash also fertilizes the cleared land. By the way, this seems to be like a win-win situation for the farmers. They get more land, more crops, and by burning the forest down, they create ash, which fertilizes their cleared land. So it sounds like a win-win for the farmers. But is it a win-win for anyone else? No way.
Well, it's a win-win for the farmers when we're talking about local farmers and they're burning limited pieces of land, their own land. The problem here, and this is to look at the situation more globally, more widely, is that foreign companies are going into Brazil, into the Amazon, and they are taking over large pieces of land and doing the burning. So the scale of the burning has increased because it's not being done by local farmers anymore. It's being done by big corporations that want to clear the land in the Amazon rainforest to have cattle farms and to grow soybeans. So we're talking about industrial agriculture here.
So it's on a scale right now that's just not sustainable. If it were just local farmers, maybe that would be okay to a certain extent. But when large multinational corporations get involved, wow, they're probably going to be deforesting huge tracts of land, and that's just not sustainable, like I said before. By the way, yes, the ash, when you burn, let's say, a part of the Amazon rainforest, ash falls from the sky after you burn those trees, or those trees are reduced to ash. That ash actually fertilizes the cleared land. What that means is that when you do plant those crops in that soil, they can use that ash kind of like plant food, and it can help those plants to grow quickly and in a robust fashion. Anyways, let's go ahead and move on. A ban on burning by the Brazilian government did little to help. It did little to help the situation, and about 2,000 new fires were reported in the 48 hours following the restriction. And boy, is that not a good thing. Boy, is that ever a bad thing. Anyways, here we have a ban on something. If you put a ban on something, you forbid that thing. You say that that thing is no longer allowed or that it is unlawful, illegal, against the law, so on and so forth. Here, this word is being used as a noun, but you can use it as a verb as well. You could have said that the Brazilian government banned burning.
Right. For instance, you could say there is a ban on smoking cigarettes outside convenience stores these days, which is really good. People can no longer smoke cigarettes outside convenience stores because there is an official ban on it. So even though the government put a ban on burning, that didn't seem to have done much because about 2,000 new fires were reported in the 48 hours following the restriction. So restriction means a rule or an action or a situation that limits or controls something or somebody. So the government put a restriction on burning the forest, but it didn't help because people continue to create fires in the Amazon. So here's an example sentence of restriction, and it's there is a restriction on the number of people that can enter the museum at the same time.
All right, folks, with that, it's time for us to take another break, but don't go away. When we come back, we'll be wrapping up our lesson.
By August, Brazil and other Amazonian countries were facing increasing criticism from abroad. The entire planet benefits from the Amazon's trees, which pull greenhouse gases from the air and produce huge amounts of oxygen. After weeks of international pressure, Brazilian President Jair Bolsonaro sent in the military to fight the flames. Then, in September 2019, leaders from 7 countries in the region signed an agreement to work together in responding to disasters. Goodwill alone is not enough anymore, said Peruvian President Martín Vizcarra.
第三部分我们看到名词 criticism 指批评、指责，像是 Wally listened to his teacher's criticism and thought about how he could improve. Wally 听从老師的批評並思考要如何改進。另外補充這個字的動詞 criticize C-R-I-T-I-C-I-Z-E criticize 指批評、責備。舉例來說 My older sister criticized me for always forgetting to do my chores. 我姐姐責備我總是忘記做家事。最後我們看到一個單字 oxygen 這個字是名詞，意思是氧氣。例如 Plants are nice to have around the house because they produce oxygen. 在房里四處種植植物是很棒的，因為它們會產生氧氣。
All right, folks, we're back. Let's go ahead and start wrapping up our article on the Amazon rainforest. The next line says, by August, Brazil and other Amazonian countries were facing increasing criticism from abroad, i.e., these Amazonian countries were facing a lot of other countries saying that they were not doing enough or that they weren't acting properly. That's what criticism is all about, by the way. If you criticize someone, you point out the faults in them or what they're doing. Yeah, criticize is the verb, criticism is the noun.
Right. I could say, for instance, if you want to improve, then you must be willing to accept other people's criticism. So criticism can be positive and it could be taken negatively. So moving on, the next sentence says, the entire planet benefits from the Amazon's trees, which pull greenhouse gases from the air and produce huge amounts of oxygen. So as Jeff mentioned in the introduction, the reason why the Amazon rainforest is important is that it produces oxygen for the world, for the entire world. The nickname is the lungs of the world, of planet Earth, basically. So if the Amazon rainforest is unhealthy, the entire planet is unhealthy.
There you go. Let's go ahead and talk about oxygen. Oxygen is the part of the air that we actually breathe in and use. Yeah, we take oxygen into our lungs, and that allows us to not die.
Right. So oxygen is important for human beings and for other animals and all living things, basically. And the Amazon rainforest produces 20% of the oxygen in our planet's atmosphere. So that is an example sentence. Or I could say water is made up of oxygen and hydrogen, which is another gas.
Let's go ahead and move on. After weeks of international pressure, Brazilian President Jair Bolsonaro Sent in the military to fight the flames. There you go. That's how you take action. Send in the military to fight the flames. Fight fire with fire, or fight it with water. That's what you should probably do. Anyways, then in September 2019, leaders from 7 countries in the region signed an agreement to work together in responding to disasters. There you go. They're all working together now. How fantastic.
Right. Finally, they have woken up due to international pressure, and they decided to work together. When you work together, it's always more effective. And the Peruvian president, Martin Vizcarra, said, goodwill alone is not enough anymore.
Okay, folks, with that, it's time for us to end today's lesson, but don't go away. The Chinese teacher is waiting in the wings.
各位同学大家好，我是 Hanny。 我们来看今天的文法重点。相信大家去年都有看到跟亚马逊大火相关的报道。那课文第一段的最后一句提到说 As of August, Brazil alone had reported 87,000 forest fires, compared with 49,000 the previous year. 跟前一年的49000起火灾相比啊，到8月为止，光是巴西就通报了87000件森林大火。好，这边有2个文法重点哦。第一个是As of 加上名词，是用来指某件事开始或是结束的时间或是日期。好，那它可以表达出2种语义，一种是从什么什么开始，另外一种是到什么什么为止，截至什么为止。这2个语义听起来似乎完全相反，那同学们就必须从这个前后文或者是句子里的时态来判断。像课文句子里面 As of August, Brazil alone had reported 87,000 blah 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 什么的。好，他就是说这个截至8月为止，光是巴西就通报了87000件森林大火这样。好，那我们从它的过去完成式 had reported 可以推测它是要表达某个情况从过去持续到某个时间点为止。那所以我们就可以推测 as of 在这边它是表达到什么什么为止。好，那我们来造一个例句。假设啊，从6月1号开始，这个烟税将会调涨，我们就可以写这样的句子说 As of June 1st, cigarette taxes will rise. 也就是说，从6月1号开始，烟税将会调涨。那我们这边用未来式就可以推测说，它其实是要表达说某件事会从未来某个时间点开始。所以 as of 在这边的语义就是从什么什么开始。好，第二个重点是 compared with 或是 compared to 加上名词，它表示跟什么相比，相较于什么或和什么相较之下。好，那它是独立分词片语，可以摆在句首或是接在主要子句的后面。举例来说Matt is a diligent student compared to his classmates. 跟他的同学比起来 Matt 是个勤奋努力的学生。好，这边再补充动词 compare 其他2个常见的用法。第一种是 compare A to B， 表达说将 A 比作 B， 将 A 比喻为 B。 那这个用法是在强调2者之间相似的地方。那么 compare 在这边它有比拟、比喻的意思。举例来说The journalist compared him to Steve Jobs. 那名记者将他比作贾伯斯。好，再造一个例句哦。She compared life to a piece of chewing gum. 她把人生比喻为一片口香糖。好，那来看第二种用法，是用 compare A with B 或是 compare A to B 来表达将 A 跟 B 做比较。那这个用法是把2者放在一起做比较，去找出它们的异同。举例来说 Gina's parents always seem to compare her with her older sister. Gina 的爸妈似乎总是会拿她跟姐姐去做比较。好，那么以上是今天重点整理，我们回顾今天单字吧。
Basin. The river basin floods every spring as melting snow makes the water level rise. Ban. The airline has placed a ban on dog breeds that are considered dangerous. Restriction. Many preteens ignore the age restrictions for opening up social media accounts. Criticism. The proposed law was dropped after a wave of criticism from the public. Oxygen. Fire requires air composed of at least 16% oxygen, otherwise it will go out.
Discussion Starter starts now!
All right, folks, now it's time for our discussion starter. Should Brazil be allowed to clear rainforest land for other uses? What do you think, Helen?
I think they should set a limit to the amount of land that can be burned because they have a responsibility to make sure that such burning does not affect the health of the planet.
There you go. Now, since farmers in that area do need to clear that land, and since those local farmers are probably going to do this on a scale that's not going to be catastrophic, I believe they should be able to clear forest land just as long as they do so in a sustainable way.
Well, this is the end of our program. We hope you had a great time with us today. Hope you can join us again. From all of us here, I'm Helen.
I'm Jeff.
See you next time.